Modupe Olabenjo. I'm a life design strategist. I teach people to live by design through intimacy with God. I teach people to make room in their life for what matters most to them without overwhelm. Oh my gosh, it's October already. I mean, where did all the months in this year go to? Like, there's 3 more months to the end of the year. And I know that this is that time of the year where most people are always in like a panic mode where you're wondering, oh, where did January go? Where did February go? Where did January to September go? And have I really made the most of this year? And then what starts to happen sometimes is that people get into panic mode and start to think, oh, what can I do? How can I, make the most of the remaining 3 months of the year? So if you're in that state and you find yourself thinking, how can I make the most of the remaining 3 months of the year? This video is for you. What we're going to be talking about today is how do I make the most of the remaining 3 months of the year? So I don't know where you are at this moment. You might be at the place where you feel like, oh, I think I've done really well since the beginning of the year, and yeah, the remaining 3 months shouldn't be a big deal. Or even if you're in the place whereby you are like, I don't know what I used the last, is it 9 months for, and how can I make the most of the remaining 3 months? So first of all, I don't want you to panic. I have 3 tips here that would ensure that you make the most of October, November, December, and step into 2026, with joy and feeling very, very accomplished. 3 points to help you make the most of the remaining of this year, starting from this new month, October. So the first thing would be to reflect. One thing I found out is that a lot of the times we tend to just go. January passes, February, March, it just goes and we just keep going without necessarily documenting the things that we've achieved or how we are moving forward, or the things that we've achieved and that are like progress in our life. So what happens when we don't properly document is that you come to the end of this year and then you start to worry about the fact that, oh, have I achieved anything? Meanwhile, you've shown up consistently for the last 9 months for yourself. And I think before we get to the first point, I think another thing we also have to, think about is how we define progress. So for somebody, progress might basically mean just showing up every single morning to, the goals they've set for themselves, or to just show up and not give up. That can be progress for some people. So the first point would be, I want you to take time to reflect on every single month since the beginning of the year. What one thing have you done? What progress have you made? Is it progress in terms of maybe your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends, or how you keep up with your friends, or progress with work, a certification that you did, or basically just waking up every morning? That's like something to give thanks for, right? So have your gratitude list or your reflection list where you itemize every good thing that has happened in your life since the beginning of the year. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing you want to do is to redesign your life to make room for God. And this is very, very important, especially if you feel like, if you're beginning to find yourself in a panic mode where you're feeling like, oh, at the beginning of the year, I said this number of things and I haven't achieved them, or you're just in that panic mode. You know how people tend to want to get into a sad mode towards the end of the year when you feel like, have I really done what I'm supposed to do? So if you're in that place, the second best thing to do would be to redesign your life to create room for God. And what that looks like is prioritizing your devotional time with God. And I don't mean 2 minutes or rushing to have your bath in the morning and trying to murmur some prayers or something. I'm saying being deliberate about carving out time for God. If you want to do morning, great. If you want to do night, great. And I will explain why this is very important. There's this scripture that I love so much. I think it's Isaiah 33. I can't remember the exact verse, either verse 1 to 3 or so, or verse 3. It talks about in returning and in rest shall your salvation be. And then this other scripture that talks about, those who wait on the Lord, they shall mount up with wings like eagle. They shall run and not be weary. So we actually make progress and we get into speed by waiting in God. There's this clarity that comes from spending time with God. And I don't mean a one-off thing. I mean having a consistent time with God. If you've ever experienced this feeling whereby you start to spend time with God, either using a particular devotional or you start to follow a Bible plan, and then when you read the devotional for that day or you read the Bible plan for that day, you kind of have this feeling like it feels like whoever wrote that devotional plan knows what is happening in your life and it's speaking to the exact things that are happening in your life. That just goes to show that God is actually seeking an avenue to speak with us and lead us every single day. But the reason why most of the time we enter into panic mode and get confused is because we leave that place of rest, we leave that place of waiting on God. So instead of abiding and receiving the daily bread, the daily direction that keeps us moving forward, we maybe receive something today and then we go out of that place of rest and then we get into panic mode and then we're just like everywhere. So the second thing you want to do to really make the most of the remaining 3 months of this year would be to prioritize consistency with God. It will bring your mind into a place of rest. It will bring you into a place of clarity and into a place of direction. A lot of the times we are saying, oh, I don't know how, I want to hear from God, or I need direction, I want to know what next to do. But the truth is that the next thing you need to do comes from the place of abiding, not one leg in, one leg out. Not I'm here today, tomorrow I'm not there. So it happens sometimes. You could skip a day, but don't skip an entire week. I mean, if you skip a day, trying to make up for it and show up the next day, it just helps to put you in that place of rest where you're able to hear God every single day for your life. The third point here is to create a life design. And what do I mean by creating a life design? If you've never heard anything about creating a life design basically means to treat your time like money. You know the way you budget your money, and you have a budget either at the beginning of the month saying that this is what I want to use this money for, and this is what I want to use this particular money for. It's the same thing with time, and that's what life design is basically about. Budget every time of your day. So there's this story I always like to share. It's an interview I watched where John Maxwell was having an interview. He was being interviewed and he was talking about how at the end of every year he has, because he tracks every single minute of his day. He has, this calendar where he tracks, he knows where every time went into. So at the end of the year, he does like an audit of his time for the entire year, right? And is able to see, okay, what areas did I waste time? What areas did I invest time in that was profitable that I need to keep investing time in? When I watched that interview, I was like, if somebody like this could make out time to be deliberate about where every minute of his time goes to, then truly we have no excuse. I have no excuse. So the third point again is to create a life design. If you're wondering how to get started in creating a life design, I have a free resource, a comprehensive resource, free life design resource that will help you to see how to allocate your time, how to create a schedule, how to plan your time ahead. And it also provides very helpful tools and very helpful resources for you to manage your time better. But trust me, if you put these 3 points into use, into work in the remaining 3 months of this year, you're going to end your year in a very amazing way. So just to repeat the points, the first point is reflect. Do a Thanksgiving note. Think about your year from January to September. What things happened in the year that you feel very happy about, or what progress have you made that you did not even acknowledge. So you want to list all of that down and then give them thanks for that. The second thing is you want to prioritize your devotional time with God, your daily intentional devotional time with God, because that is the place where you get clarity and have get the light to be able to move forward or know exactly what you need to do part time, or what you need to do with the remaining days of the year. And then the third point would be to create your life design, which is basically plan how you're going to spend every single minute of your time. Plan how you're going to spend your time and stewarding your time very, very well. And like I said, I have a free life design guide that would help you to be able to create that life design to help you use your time more intentionally. So I really hope all of these points helped. I'm sure that with this, you will be able to be more intentional about how you spend your time in the remaining 3 months. So I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Till then, don't forget to check out the free life design resource. It's going to be in the description. It's completely free and you can start to use it immediately. It also comes with tools and a walkthrough video to show you how to use the templates. Have a wonderful week ahead.